Hello crafty friends, this is Marcy here with Creators Call Shop here on YouTube and Creators Call on Etsy. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of this sweet little journal. It's made from a children's version of A Christmas Carol, and I just put the finishing touches on it a couple hours ago, so I'm very excited to bring it to you today. It's been an age since I've talked with you all. Of course, you've all been watching me week to week, but I haven't recorded for the last few weeks, so I'm often talking to you all in my head, and if it wasn't for the fact that you actually exist, we would be very, very worried about me. So let me just say I'm really glad to be back talking with you and connecting with everybody. So before we get started, grab your favorite drink, get yourself a hot chocolate or chai tea latte or whatever it is you want to drink today. Get snuggled up on the couch and we'll be back to go through this journal in just a minute, right after this. Okay, everybody settled? I'm ready to dig into this little journal with you. I dressed up for everybody today and put on some nice sleeves. You know you're a real YouTuber when you plan your sleeves around how the video is gonna look. And truthfully, in this current isolation and lockdown COVID year, this is the most excitement I get, people, besides going after a soda, going on a Coke run once in a while. So feel sorry for me, feel sorry. Okay, before we dive into this though, I do have quite a few subbies, new subbies that I want to welcome. It's been a while since I've read these off, so some of these have subscribed quite a while ago since I last read them off. And I do want to remind you, if I don't read your name, these are people that have their settings set to public on YouTube so that they can comment and things, and then when you subscribe, then YouTube tells me. But I have quite a lot more people that have subscribed. I just don't know who you are because you're not set to public. So anyway, no insult is intended by this, but everybody's welcome. So today let's welcome Sasson Vintage World. He has his own craft channel and he is a lot of fun to watch. I went and checked him out, and then his wife is also a crafter, and I forgot now the name of her channel. They both have YouTube channels and they both do a lot with paper crafting and journals and things like that. So he's got a great style. I love watching him. And Sasson, I love it because you say, all right, all right, all right, like a DJ. You remind me of a friend of mine. So that's really fun to have you on my channel, and I think he's also my first male subby, so that's exciting. Next we have Dee at Cape's Corner Creations, and she is a new channel also starting out, and let me tell you, she's got some really fun videos out there. One of them was on dyeing paper with spices, and I still need to go try that. I haven't had a chance like I wanted to. I'm looking forward to that because not only does it make the papers look really pretty and give it some interesting color, but it makes your house smell really Christmassy, so it's kind of a win-win. I did want to share, she had done a video on these crocheted tags that she does. I'm going to scoot this out of the way for a second. And so I went ahead and ordered some because I'm going to be doing some garden-themed journals in the spring, and I think these will be really pretty in there. And then she also does these crocheted paper clips, and as you know, I can't crochet because the mean girls in 4-H. So anyway, she has several sets. They're not all identical because she makes them from scraps and things, but aren't these really pretty? These are just gorgeous. So I hopped on over there and grabbed those, and they're plain on the back, so you can journal on them or stamp or whatever, or this would make a really cute embellishment. And then she sent it with this really pretty card. This is her original artwork. So I don't, you know, Dee, you've got lots of talent there, I can tell. And her channel is really fun to watch, guys. So if you get a second, run on over there and check her out, and then run over to her Etsy shop And look at what she's got over there. So that's exciting. I'm happy to have you on board, Dee. So let's go down this list or my video is going to take forever. I've got Seriously Scrapping in Australia. Hello and welcome to you. Marie Gallegos, Mamie Everly, Angel S, Sarah Quiles, Nikki J, Shrimpy Zozo, Chris Camo, or Kriskamo, like Eskimo, Kryskamo, Kriskamo, and Elizabeth Sargent. So I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for jumping on to the Creators Call bandwagon and for watching and subscribing. And to all of you whose names I can't see, I appreciate you as well. So thank you for that. At the end, I'm going to have a few announcements, but I do want to go ahead and start flipping through the journal here. So, as I said, this was done with a children's version of A Christmas Carol, and I added these book corners. And then I just went around, I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, but I went around very lightly with just a little bit of gold metallic paint. It just gave it a little touch of gold. I put some buttons on the spine and covered it with this really pretty poinsettia fabric, and you will see echoes of all of these elements, the poinsettia fabric, and then I have this plaid trim and this trim here. So all of these little elements repeat throughout. And then I just tied it up with a couple of lengths of this plaid ribbon, which was already in my stash. There are 3 signatures. And we'll just open it and start going through. So a lot of these are scrap papers that I already had in my stash or things that I've thrifted. And you'll see here, I covered the inside, both inside covers with the same paper so it matches. I have added lace to a lot of the pages, and then periodically in 2 or 3 spots, I've added some charms. And I used my rusted safety pins here to attach them. On the first page, I've got the This Book Belongs To tag in here. And I've used several printables. Now, I'm not a huge printable user, partly because I don't have a super great printer that is going to print super high quality images and make them look lovely. And also because I really enjoy just using natural and thrifted materials and using up things. But I do have quite a few things that are Christmas related, and a lot of these are from Mrs. Cog, and I will put her link down below in my description box. And then I think there were a couple that I had purchased a while back from Calico Collage, and then there may be 1 or 2 random ones in there that I don't remember, so I apologize, but you'll see quite a few of those printables in here. So here's a little one, a copy of him, or Christmas Carol, Joy to the World. I tried to use carols that might be sung at the time of Charles Dickens, so early 1800s, I guess. There's a little ticket here, and I liked this one. I know it's an angel, but it kind of reminds me of the Ghost of Christmas Past in the story, because it's like a childlike figure. Then I also used, on the front and back cover, I made a similar pocket, and I used stamps from that have definitions. So there's a lot of pictures in this book, which I really liked. This is just a small sheet of paper, and I stamped on it. This was like a art paper, I think, a watercolor pad that was a mini size. In here is one of Mrs. Cog's images, and I like it. It's a nice big size, and I just made a side pocket for it. And then I did stamping throughout, so you'll see that. Coffee dyed, this might be tea dyed, anyway. Ledger paper, because Scrooge was a businessman and they always were keeping the books and doing their accounting, so I thought ledger paper's perfect for him. And then on this page I stamped, and then I also layered a larger poinsettia stamp on a green circle and put that on there. And then here, I just stamped on the background with a script stamp. And then I took some notepad paper and crumpled it up and sprayed it with, I think, what did I do? I watered down, because I didn't have any more tea in my spray bottle, so I watered down some vintage photo, I believe it was. And then I crumpled it up, and then I sprayed it, And then after it dried, I went over it with, I think it was frayed burlap, or it could have been walnut stain, the distress inks, just to bring out the crinkles and the texture in the paper. And then I just layered it up with just little bits and pieces that I have in my stash from other paper pads. Ran some trim. And then I also have a few places where I use some of the Tim Holtz Christmas ephemera. I just tried to pick ones that seemed relevant to the time period. And again, like this is an old ledger, like maybe something Scrooge would have used in his business. Here's the center of the first signature, and I just layered it up with some cute little scraps. Here's a pocket here, another piece of that Tim Holtz ephemera, and then this is a Mrs. Cog image, and then I stamped on it the Christmas Wishes stamp. I think that looks very Dickensian. Another Mrs. Cog. All of these are from Mrs. Cog in this little pocket, and then this one has a part of a poem about Christmas. Christmas bells, I think. And then this is one of the little Tim Holtz paper dolls that are the Christmas theme. And then I stamped up here. And then over here, I made a belly band. These are from some Anna Griffin cards that I found at Tuesday Morning, and they're like an assemble your own kind of card. And I literally bought them for these pretty pieces that you put on the cards. And then I just backed this one on some lace. And then underneath I have one of, I believe this was Mrs. Cog. No, this is Calico Collage, I believe. She has a series of Christmas carols that have these really pretty images on them. So there's one there. And then this is just a journal card that I stamped with a sweet little child praying, and it makes me think of Tiny Tim. And as we continue going through, and then some of these pages where it was blank, I stenciled, but you can still write over the top. There's, you know, the black or blue ink, or green or red even, actually. Here's the back side of that small piece of paper. And we're at the end of the first signature. And here's the ghost. Actually, yeah, this is Christmas past, because she's reminding him of his childhood. Now, oops, I missed a page there. Sorry, let me back up. Okay, so here's this. And then turning the page, so I made one of these over-the-top flip tag things, and then I layered it up, another one of Mrs. Cog's Christmas images. She's got several sets, so you have to just look through them all and see what you like. And then I just used some of the fabric that coordinates and made a banner shape and layered it up, and then when you open it up, it opens here, and then I made some paper clips. So as you can see, it's a two-sided paper clip, altered paper clip. This is my Handmade for You label stamp, so I stuck that in there. And then on the back side, not only does this flip up, but I got this wild idea today that I wanted this to flip open as well. So it's a little bumpy under here where I've glued the paper clip. So I just stamped here first, and then, but you could flip this up and do a little secret journaling space right there. Here's a book page from a Christmas craft book or something. This is an invitation, but I like the image on the front as it looks kind of old-fashioned and traditional. A couple more of Mrs. Cog's images here, and then a definition card, a vocabulary card, and I use the word liberal because at the end Scrooge has a change of heart and he becomes a liberal person instead of the miserly person that he was. This is just a label from an old set of Christmas cards, and then here I've done a similar thing on this page as I did on the last page, the last red one that you saw. Scrapbook paper. Then this is just a folded pocket. So I stamped on the inside, I folded it up, and then I've used as a closure, this was a handmade embellishment, and I had these in my shop long ago, and they just never sold, so I'm trying to use them up in journals now. And then a vintage address label that I found when I was out thrifting about a month ago. Another Tim Holtz ephemera, ran some trim down the side here. And then this is the ghost of Christmas Future, I believe. he's pointing up. It's awkward the way he's painted there, but I assure you he's not making any obscene gestures. This is the middle of the second signature, and this is, I think, like one of my first times to try adding charms to the bottom of the ties, and I only did it in the center signature. So I have a wreath because I think maybe that's something they would have been decorating with. And then this is a clock to represent the ghosts of Christmas present, Christmas past, and Christmas future. And I like that this is the very center, and it's got the two beautiful pictures in the middle. Now over here we have another one of my decorated paper clips, and so I just put a sticker, and I cut these two words out of a piece of scrapbook paper, and this one opens up as well. This one's a little bit thicker because it was cardstock, so I left you room to write on both halves. You can just write around the paper clip. And then on this side, it is holding on and a decorated envelope. Now, because the image was right here, I didn't want it to overshadow the image on the back side of my paper clip, so I tried to make it a little bit plain. So when you pull this off, isn't that interesting? Oh, wow. I haven't actually looked at it pulled off. That looks really nice. If I do say so myself. Sounds conceited, doesn't it? Anyway, I just layered up some pieces and put some pretty gold ribbon trim. I wanted to put a little bit of sparkle in this book, not a ton, because I don't think that particular time period was super sparkly, but it isn't Christmas without sparkle. And then this is the card that comes inside this envelope. And then as you can see, I stenciled the background. I added a vintage label from another old Christmas card pack. And then we'll just slide this back on there, I hope. So when it's on, this just kind of accents the picture, but hopefully does not detract. And then I just doodadded up the ends of these paper clips. This is it's a single pocket, but I did 2 layers. I tore them here and put another image, Tim Holtz ephemera, here, but it's only a single pocket. It looks like there might be 2, but there's only one. And then I think this was a calico collage image. This one is one I pulled randomly from somewhere a long time ago. I don't know whose image it is. And it looks a little fuzzy because the image was fuzzy. And then a flashcard. I like this. This might be something that you would have seen in that day and age as advertising or something. I don't think they did Christmas cards back then. I think it was too early for postcards. Postcards weren't a thing yet, so. This is an old Christmas tag that we used one year. I used a set of these, but I really like the images, so I just backed it on some cardstock, put a little sticker, and put some trim through the hole here, and then I've got a flashcard that says green, another one of those Christmas carols. This is a Mrs. Cog, and this is a Mrs. Cog. I just tucked all of these into the pocket. Another one of those address label stickers. And this is the back side of that book page, but I like that it had the apple press because this is very much like what they might have been using in that day and age to make their stuffing and make their apple pies. And this is the bottom half of that gentleman's outfit. I picked it because his outfit is of the era. And then I just added a sticker to this page. And then this one, this is a embellishment I made, and it was a long one, so I just made it into kind of a side tuck and then embellished it with some more coordinating fabric, a sticker, and another Mrs. Cog image. And then inside is another flashcard for red, Mrs. Cog image. This is, the ones that are in the pockets are on cardstock, and the ones like this that I glued were paper, so. There's another one of the Christmas carols and another one of those little Mrs. Cog images. And then over here I have a charm. This is a gold key, like maybe Mr. Scrooge. This is the key to his warehouse. And then we're into the third signature. This is scrapbook paper. This is something I did purchase a while back, but I used it in this because it looked like the right time period. another Mrs. Coggs image, and so I used it to make a pocket, and in there I have a journal card that I made, stamped with children praying, and then another one of these Christmas carols, because it is a Christmas carol, so I put Christmas carols in it. This is a piece of textured paper, and I really like the color and the texture of it. So I just added a fabric ruffle, and I pre-sew and pre-gather these, and then I just glue them to the page. And then another charm here. It's kind of hard to see. It's a crown for King, whomever was king at that time. I don't know. I love this picture right here, and originally I had it paired up. There we go. I had it paired up next to this, with Tiny Tim and his little crutch, and there it is again. But I just really like how this divides it up, and I love the texture. You can still write on it on the back, and it worked better that way. Another piece of ephemera, and I just backed it with some strips of fabric, like a ribbon, you know, and then added a sticker there. And then this is from an old vintage, 1931. So this is from one of my old music books that I got. I have some in my shop, so you can go there and look around. I have lots of music packs from vintage music from old music books, but these have carols. And this one actually says A Christmas Carol right there. It kind of got sewn into the center of the signature a bit. And then that one has little baby Jesus on the back side. And then this is scrapbook paper. It's got the 12 Days of Christmas on it. My background is sliding around. There we go. And then this is almost the center of this signature. And so this piece of paper, I made a pocket that ran all the way across. So in this pocket, I have a bingo card, a couple more of Mrs. Coggs images. These are carolers caroling. And then a little quote by Charles Dickens, also in the Mrs. Coggs. I can't remember the exact one, but it's all Christmas words and phrases, I think is what it's called. So there's that. And then you can see I stamped up here. Center of the signature, so I tied in some pretties right there. Here's the other side of that page. More stamping, a couple more Mrs. Coggs, 3 more Mrs. Coggs images, and then just a piece of vintage phone book right there, address book. Yeah, I should just put it like that, and you can tell. There you go. The other side of that hymn sheet, that one says bells, and the sleep of the baby Jesus. Another sticker from the old stationery set. And then this is another Tim Holtz ephemera, and then I just backed it on this snippet of ribbon that I've had floating around in my stash for forever, and I just like how it looks. So that's glued down. You can't tuck anything under it. And then on this side of the textured paper, I just made a flip. I did not add a paper clip or anything. I just kind of left it there for you to do with whatever you'd like. More stenciling on the back of this page. And then here's a pocket. I stamped Merry Christmas here. It's got the definition here. And then just a blank tag from a scrap. And another one of the Christmas carols here. And then another tag. It has that same image of the little boy praying. I'm going to call him Tiny Tim. I know his pajamas are modern, but the little boy just reminds me of Tiny Tim. And then this has a little bit of pom-pom trim on it. And then this is the very last page. And another quote from Mrs. Cogg. And I liked it because it was Dickens. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year. And I believe that is a quote from A Christmas Carol. I think that's how it ends. So anyway, I thought it was a fitting ending to a journal, a Christmas journal, that I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year. And that's by Dickens. So that is our sweet little Christmas Carol journal. It will be listed in the shop by the time you see this video go up. Just a little note that anytime that I list these in the shop, if you're interested in it and you're not sure if it's available or not, once it is sold, I put that in the title as well. So if you're seeing the video and it says the title of the journal flip through and then sold at the end, then you know that it's already been sold. But if it doesn't say that, that means it's still available. So head on over. Regarding my shop, I am going to be closing it for about a month, mid-December to mid-January. So I think when I looked at the calendar, it was December 18th. It's about a week before Christmas. And that just gives me a break so I can focus on holidays and then maybe work on some stuff or not, or do things around the house that I need to do. Do be advised, however, if you see that this hasn't sold and you're interested in it, send me a message on Etsy, because I still see my messages even if the shop is on vacation. And then if you're interested, I can just take it out of vacation mode temporarily long enough for you to purchase it, and then I can put it back in vacation mode. Some more announcements here. The next one is I'm going to let you guys vote on my next project, because I have lots of ideas in my head. So I may need some help narrowing them down. You can just vote, and then however many they get, those will be the ones that I'm focusing on over the next few months. So I have a couple of journals that I've been wanting to do, that the inspiration for them is my son-in-law's grandparents, Mimi and Poppy. The inspiration is Mimi's Prayer Garden, which would be a garden-themed one, and the other one would be Poppy's Praise Book, which would be songs and music and praise, and so it would be Mimi and Poppy. I'd have a couple of journals I'd be working on simultaneously. Other ideas are a garden-inspired journal. One of them specifically, I wanted to focus on a botanical style for garden journals. Then another one just like roses, and then a third one just kind of spring-inspired, garden-ish flower. Anyway, I could go crazy probably doing garden journals. I could probably do 10 of them. So of the gardening ones, I would say focus on botanical or the roses or a general spring-themed one. And then again, Mimi's Prayer Garden would also be a garden-inspired journal. Ring binder styles, I have kind of a hearth and home, like homebody, kind of having to do with domestic things and homemaking. So I'm calling those hearth and home, or a sewing theme, or a handyman theme, masculine kind of journal. I have those as ideas. Those would all be ring binder styles. I can also do farm or country theme. I have a Little Red Hen journal that I'm wanting to make, so that would have kind of a farm theme to it, or just chicken theme. And then I have others that can be just general, like, you know, farming, country, garden, farm animal, something like that. That's an idea. I thought about maybe for January focusing on a theme of either hope or peace. Lately, I've been hearing a lot about hope. Hope is coming up as a topic, and as just things that I'm hearing people say, and feeling, you know, as a follow-up to Christmas, perhaps we could do one based on hope or a theme of peace, either one of those. So if you guys would be interested in seeing that, I think those would be good topics to do. And then also I have just eclectic style, just kind of a this and that kind of a journal, where it's just got all miscellaneous random pieces of paper, no real specific theme, other than it would truly be junky, because I'd be using up all kinds of miscellaneous papers and things. And they'd be more basic, not as embellished, but they would just have a mix of eclectic papers. So these are all ideas that y'all can vote on. And I have lots more ideas for later in next year, but we don't need to talk about that right now. So anyway, if any of those strike your fancy, let me know. Based on how much interest there is, I'll just kind of go through them one at a time, starting with January, and just do 3 or 4 of those in a row. If I don't get any feedback, I guess I'll just go at random through my stash of what I've been waiting to work on. Let's see, other announcements. This one's very important. You may or may not see on my channel in the coming months commercials. That is because YouTube has now decided to start putting commercials on all channels. Now, prior to now, you didn't get commercials on your channel until you're eligible to be monetized. And to be monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in a single 12-month period. Okay? I'm nowhere near that. And at that point, you could get monetized, which meant ads would show, and then you could pick the frequency of ads, and you'll see them. Sometimes some people have like 5 or 6 ads in a video, and also some of them are longer than others, but you can skip out of them. That being said, as of the middle of November 18th, YouTube decided they're just going to run ads on all the channels. And the challenge with that is that little channels like me won't have the option to opt out, and you as the viewer will not be able to just click the skip button. And some of these ads can be up to 5 to 15 minutes long. And I just want to say I'm really sorry. Not that I have anything to apologize for, but as a viewer, that is incredibly frustrating. And as a creator, if it's a channel that isn't ready for monetization, all the small channels, we're going to have ads running on there whether or not we've asked for it, and we have no control over the frequency or type of ad even. So it's been about a month since they rolled out that policy. I have been watching and I haven't really seen that yet on a lot of the smaller channels that I watch. So I don't know. And I've tried to watch my own channel from another account where it's not me logged in as Creators Call, but where it's me as my private self. And I haven't seen ads on my videos yet, but it's coming. So I'm just want to make you all aware of that, because I have no control, and I'm really sorry. I would not do that to you. Now, the way to get around that is let's get me 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours in the next year. And then I will have control. So anyhow, that's just something that you should all be aware of as viewers, because I'm sure it's going to cause a lot of frustration. I know it will be frustrating for me. And I don't know if you could exit out of the video and then wait and then come back and maybe you'll get a shorter ad. I don't know. But I do know some of those ads can be really long. Or if it's like a 2 or 3 minute ad, just walk away, go fill your coffee cup, walk to the mailbox. I don't know. Come back and it should be done. Oh, I was also, along with that, going to ask, and this is totally up to you guys as viewers, but now that I do have over 100 subscribers, YouTube is pushing my channel a little harder. I have one video out there that obviously they've picked up and decided to promote that one. It's got over 1,800 views on it, which is incredible. However, some of my earlier ones are just being ignored and they have 20 views. So if you have time and you feel like you want to do this, it would hopefully boost me in the algorithm and start getting more of my videos suggested. If you could go back and, as you have time, watch the earlier videos on my channel so that YouTube says, oh, people are interested in those, and hopefully it will promote them and get more views. I think there's good content there, so, that's just me. But if you have time and you feel like helping out a channel, that would be something really kind of you all to do. I'd appreciate that. And the very last thing I wanted to share with you, my oldest daughter, Katie, was featured on a podcast. It aired on November 23rd. The name of the podcast is Feed Your Spirit. Her name is Jill, and I think it was Dobrowonsky. I'm not sure. Here, I'm going to show you this. Here's the information. Feed Your Spirit podcast with Jill Dobrowonsky. And so she interviewed my daughter. She actually found Katie through an Instagram that Katie does. And Katie has an Instagram account called Katie Writes. And she spells her name C-A-I-T-I-E Writes, W-R-I-T-E-S. And she's trying to break into more of the literary field. She's always been highly verbal, always, even to the point where we wish there was a muzzle for children. But anyway, she's very verbal, very eloquent, and Jill found her and featured her. And in this podcast, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because Katie, a few years ago, she was diagnosed as being bipolar. And that opened up a whole new world for our family, just learning about what that meant. And she is a huge advocate for herself and for other people with bipolar disorder. And so that's what she talks about on this podcast, as well as the attitude of the church towards mental health. Still in this day and age, There are people who think that you shouldn't have mental health issues if you're a Christian, and it's flawed logic. But she talks about all of that, and it's a great interview. So if you want to go check that out, Feed Your Spirit with Jill Dobrowonsky aired on November 23rd, and it features our daughter. You can also go check out Katie's Instagram at Katie Writes if you'd like, and she posts lots of great content. I was going to read you one today, but I can't read it off my phone and record at the same time. And I'm going to move from there onto our daily inspiration. So we're reading in this book. I have a quote for you. I wanted to share this too. In the front of the book, isn't this darling? I think it must have come from a Sunday school teacher, and she had put these little sticky notes. She printed them off and somehow put them on self-stick paper. May this be a happy holiday season for your family. May the God bless your new year. Remember God's precious Christmas gift. Love, Mrs. Morgan, 2004. So someday when I get ready, I'm to use all these pages up. I'm probably going to include this as a piece of ephemera because I just think that's so sweet that Mrs. Morgan gave this to a student. I don't know who because they didn't put their name in it. And left them this sweet message. So you all get a Christmas message from Mrs. Morgan. So our quote of the day says, "Until one feels the spirit of Christmas, there is no Christmas. All else is outward display, so much tinsel and decorations. For it isn't the holly, it isn't the snow, it isn't the tree nor the firelight's glow. It's the warmth that comes to the hearts of men when the Christmas spirit returns again." And that is anonymous, unknown author. And so with that, I'd just like to close and leave you with this single thought today, and that is, as we continue on through the Christmas season, I want you all to just remember not to let anyone dull your sparkle. I guess another way to say that would be, don't let anyone steal your joy, because we still have a lot to be grateful for and a lot to be joyful, and we're here to celebrate Christ's birth in this season. So don't let anybody dull your sparkle. And until next week, be inspired and do something creative today. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.